Hey guys, what is going on? Jurgen from Zurgrinosports here, and today we are back at it again with some more of our WWE 2K22 My GM. Nope. 2K22 Universe Mode series on the channel. Yes, I know it's 2 years fucking in whatever. We're getting to it. If you missed the last episode, it was our Survivor Series pay-per-view episode in which we had some traditional Survivor Series matchups, some champion versus champion showdowns. The European title was on the line in interpromotional matchup stipulations, stuff like that. People won, people lost. There was a mystery attacker involved in one of the matches. Eventful show, to say the least. But from a housekeeping point of view for the series, I did announce in that episode that to just catch up to the current day timeline. The plan going forward for this series is I'm going to do one episode per month, which is going to be all the build to the pay-per-view. So this episode will feature all 4 weeks in December leading up to TLC. And then the next episode will be TLC like I do it with the match graphics and with the me playing the matches and all that shit. And then the next episode after that will be the build up to the Rumble, and then the Rumble episode, and then Chamber, and then the Chamber episode, and then, so on and so forth. After we get to WrestleMania on 2K22, I will do the same thing on 2K23. Probably do very basic storytelling just to catch up to the modern day. And get WrestleMania 40 done on 2K23, because that's how the timelines would line up. And then we will be on 2K24, and I'll probably take my time with it a bit more and try and come up with more intricate storylines and shit like that, because I will be, after WrestleMania 39, I guess, in my kayfabe, I will be fully booking Raw in terms of matches and having a fully booked match card for them, which is just stupid on my point, because it's just more shit for me to do in my already busy schedule, but it is what it is. So, yeah, a little bit of housekeeping out the way. Let's get into what's important for Raw, because we're not doing that full match card shit yet. So we're just going into what's important for Raw, and then we'll move over to SmackDown, and then we'll move back to Raw, and then back to SmackDown, and then we'll ping pong until all the build for TLC has been discussed in this episode. So, all right, without further ado, let's get into it. So, only 2 matches that we really need to know about for Raw. There's promo stuff that we definitely need to know about, but match-wise, there is 2 matches that we need to know about. One of them is Finn Balor, Damian Priest, and Matt Riddle in a triple threat match. At some point relatively early on in the night, the Raw general manager would announce that at TLC, we will have a triple threat ladder match to determine a number 1 contender for the World Heavyweight Championship at the Royal Rumble. However, to determine the men in that ladder match, triple threat, there will be a triple threat of triple threats, so to speak, in which we will have 3 triple threat matches. The winner of each qualifies for the triple threat match at TLC, and then the winner of that match, of course, goes on to challenge Roman Reigns or whoever his opponent may be if they are victorious at TLC in a match at the Royal Rumble. Of course, if Roman were to lose the title, then rematch clauses are a thing. So maybe it's a triple threat at the Rumble, man. Who knows? We have to wait and see. Batista's theme's playing. I think I just busted a nut. Okay, so yeah, that's one match that we need to know. And then another match that we need to know is the World Tag Team titles are on the line. The Usos versus the Bullet Club, the Good Brothers, specifically of the Bullet Club. Due to the controversy that took place in the build-up to Survivor Series, they lost their titles, and they now get a chance to win them back in the main event of the evening. From a promo perspective, we would have obviously the triple threat of triple threats and all that bullshit announced. Not bullshit, but you know what I mean. Rhea Ripley would come out to gloat and celebrate her victory over Io Shirai at Survivor Series, but then a bunch of static would pop up on the Titantron before the words "You stole my joy" would appear on the screen, harkening back to the message displayed on the screen. the week prior on the go home to Survivor Series, which was You Stole My Dreams. So, yeah, Rhea Ripley is not too happy about that. So that takes the smile off her face for sure. And there you go. Who is the person who is sending these cryptic messages to Rhea Ripley? Well, stick around and find out whenever it gets revealed. And then another big promo on the night would be Roman Reigns and the Bloodline celebrating their big win over the Hurt Business at Survivor Series. Roman Reigns would heavily praise Sami Zayn for his contribution to the match. He would say that he hasn't done enough to join the Bloodline officially yet, but that performance at Survivor Series gets him a hell of a lot closer and gets him a lot of good grace in the Tribal Chief's book. However, Sammy would have never had to come up as big as he did at Survivor Series if someone didn't attack Solo and take him out backstage. And whoever attacked Solo needs to answer for what they did. They need to pay for what they did. So whoever it was, they better reveal themselves now, because otherwise the Bloodline will find out on their own, and you don't want that to happen. Kind of gimmick. And then lo and behold, Edge's music hits. He runs down to the ring, attacks Roman. Bloodline kind of outnumbers him, though, before the rest of the Judgment Day, Priest and Black, come down and back him up. And there's a big pull-apart brawl, you know what I'm saying. Yeah, and there you go. Later on in the night, Edge would be getting interviewed backstage or something about, why he's back, why he attacked Solo, all that stuff, before he would get interrupted by a bunch of police officers, or security or whatever, and so he would get detained / arrested and then ejected from the building at the request of the Tribal Chief, the head of the table, Roman Reigns / the Bloodline. And there you go. So there is that. And then to my knowledge, and I booked the shit, I think that is the main meat and potatoes of the stuff that we need to know about. I mean, Cody would obviously have a promo because he led Team Raw to victory as the team captain at Survivor Series against Team SmackDown. He has a opportunity to qualify for the Triple Threat number 1 contender ladder match at TLC as well. His match was not tonight, though, obviously. So let's go ahead and quote unquote start the show. That way we can simulate these matches so you can see who wins the matches, and then we'll move over to SmackDown. And so a lot of talking and just fantasy booking, basically, because that's what this series is without the gameplay in this episode. But like I said, this should, in theory, take a lot quicker to get to modern day timeline. Also, I'm super busy. I mean, I mentioned how I started training to be a pro wrestler, and that takes a lot of time, dedicating time to making sure like your diet's right and you're training as much as possible, whether it's wrestling training or weight training or whatever, functionality training, just to allow your body to be the best it can be, trying to help out with shows on the weekends when it lines up. Also, I have a full-time fucking job, which is, it pays the bills, but it's a pain in the fucking ass because that's 9 hours of every day that I could be training and dedicating to wrestling that I can't do because I got to pay the bills. But it is what it is. So, man, let's go ahead and simulate this match. Finn Balor will be winning and earning himself a spot in the Triple Threat number 1 contender ladder match at TLC. He would have dinged up his previously injured shoulder a little bit in this matchup, and he would be seen icing it backstage after the match, but he would be content that he won this matchup, and he would do so by pinning Matt Riddle. And in the main event of the evening, and I must reiterate, this is not a 2-match card. There would be a bunch of matches. It's a 3-hour show still because fucking shit. But, these are the 2 matches that we need to know the results of and that we need to know happen. So there you go. And in this match, we have the Usos retaining the World Tag Team Championships, and it is due to the interference of the Masked Attacker from before. The Masked Attacker cost AJ Styles his match with Drew Gulak at the pay-per-view. I cannot remember, if I'm being honest, if the Masked Attacker made an appearance on Raw before that in my booking. I'm trying to flip through the pages of my book, which you could probably hear, to kind of see if they did. Let me see, man. Yeah, I think they did in the previous tag title match, right? So, the Mystery Attacker comes in, costs the Good Brothers / the Bullet Club the match. It would be like a ref bump or a ref distraction or something like that. Like Sammy would probably distract the referee. Masked Attacker would come down, hit the Bullet Club with maybe like a weapon or something, or just big move, and then he would leave the ring. AJ would come down to try and kind of prevent the attack, but he'd be a little bit too late. Finn Balor would not be accompanying in the save attempt. And then, like I said, the Usos retain their tag team championship. So that is it for Raw. I'll see you in a quick second for SmackDown. All right, and here we are with SmackDown, baby. Let's get into it. As you can see, Bobby Roode, or Robert Roode, if you prefer, is in the main event of the evening. The main event is something or other. I will tell you. I'll tell you what. But yeah, let's go ahead. A lot more promo stuff to talk about, obviously, with this one, because this is the focus of the series, at least at the present. Obviously, the focus of the series is getting expanded after Mania, but we have discussed this. And now you think, hey man, you knew you were gonna record this part, right? You should have flipped to your pages in the book beforehand. That's where you'd be wrong, because I'm a fucking moron. But anyways, I digress. So the show would start off with a promo from one Sasha Banks, you know what I'm saying? And now, of course, it's the last fucking page. Yeah, okay, cool. Thanks, fucking. It would start with one Sasha Banks. She would be celebrating the clean sweep by SmackDown at Survivor Series, and she would call out Io Shirai. She would first mock her for losing while she won, and then she would say that she spoke to the GM, and as it was, mentioned before Survivor Series even occurred, the general manager confirmed that Sasha will get a shot at the Women's Championship, SmackDown Women's Championship at TLC. And then she claims, she led Team SmackDown to glory at Survivor Series, and she will lead the SmackDown Women's Division back to where it belongs when she wins the title off of Io at TLC. The four other members of Team SmackDown, being Bianca, Bayley, Liv, and Shayna, would come down to the ring one by one after this, and they would all have some sort of issue with Sasha taking all the credit for the clean sweep at Survivor Series, saying they all contributed to the clean sweep. But, they don't get title shots. And then Sasha would say, well, you guys, comprehension is hard, but, I'm getting the title shot because of what happened at Hell in a Cell. If you guys think back to Hell in a Cell, when me and Io both made you submit, and she would point to Bianca Belair, and Bianca would be like, girl, or whatever the fuck. And then basically she would, beef with everybody for the most part, and it would end up with Sasha saying something along the lines of, you know what, man, enough talk. Talking, it's just, I'm done talking for the night. There's 4 weeks of TV until the pay-per-view, which means 4 episodes of SmackDown, and there's 4 of you, so that means each one of you could have a match with me so I can shut each and every one of you up or some bullshit like that. If you have such a problem with me. And then EO would suggest that if Sasha is as confident in her abilities as she says she is, that she should put her title shot on the line in each match that she has, assuming she wins them, kind of thing. And Liv basically steps up to the plate and wants the first match, so they have an impromptu match to start off the show after that big promo. Liv Morgan versus Sasha Banks right there, boom, in the first match of the evening. Then in the second match of the evening, we have Chad Gable versus Cesaro. Now, after the opening match, maybe before we go to commercial or whatever, probably before we go to commercial, Regal would be backstage talking to Cesaro, and he'd be talking to Cesaro, and he would say something along the lines of, "Hey, listen, Antonio, I saw Gable walking to Gorilla just a few moments ago before I got in here." Like, he would walk into the locker room to start the segment. Which leads me to believe he's going to have his Alpha Academy tryout. I encourage you to go answer that challenge, not because you want to join, because I know you would never join, but just to get a match in and just to get your feet back and get, a win back and start building some momentum up again. After this, Cesaro would be like, "Yeah, that's a good idea, Regal. I might do that." Dominic Mysterio would enter the locker room and respectfully and politely request a match with William Regal tonight. William Regal made it clear that he wants to wrestle as many people on his bucket list, so to speak, before the wheels fall off, whenever that may be, because he doesn't know how long he has left in the industry after his most recent comeback. And Dominic just asks for a singles match. Regal's like, "You know what? I accept. I'll see you later tonight, and I'll do you one better. I will be putting the European Championship on the line," which is the third match of the evening. So there you go. And then Cesaro would answer the Alpha Academy tryout. You know what I'm saying? That the Alpha Academy has going on, which, once again, if somebody can defeat Gable or impress him enough in a defeat to him, they would join the Alpha Academy, become Otis's new tag team partner, allowing Chad Gable to pursue singles success. There you go. So those are the second and third match of the evening. The fourth match of the evening is Drew Gulak. Nope. He's not Scottish. Versus Baron Corbin. Not Happy Corbin, Baron Corbin. I mean, we have, the fucking Happy Crew bullshit, whatever the fuck. They have their gambling ring backstage, which I can't remember if I mention it every week now, but just keep in mind in the back of your head, there's going to be a very brief gambling ring segment every week just to get people on screen that maybe don't have a match or a promo or whatever. So there you go. Set up matches that way too, kind of thing. But there you go. This match was due to Gulak's win over Moss before Survivor Series. This was previously scheduled. Drew Gulak winning this one. Drew Gulak would also mock Drew McIntyre, because Drew McIntyre would request a rematch probably after this match is done. And Gulak says, he bets he wants one, but does he really deserve it? I mean, between the two of us, look who won at Survivor Series and look who lost. I mean, once again proving I'm the better Drew of the two of us. Anyways, blah, 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 blah. Fuck you kind of shit. But Drew McIntyre is not, all shit out of luck, because he is in the main event of the evening, which is a battle royal to determine the number one contender for Lashley's championship at TLC. Now, maybe around like the second hour of the show, at the crossover segment or some shit like that, Lashley and the Hurt Business would have a promo, and basically Lashley would be pissed about what happened at Survivor Series, and he's looking to bounce back with a dominant win, and he's going to do that at TLC. In his mind, he just wants to know who is the lucky or unlucky contestant that is going to feel his wrath at the pay-per-view, and the general manager decides to book a battle royal. Now, this says Royal Rumble because you can't have a 20-man battle royal in this game, and I put 20 men in it. So, but yeah, it is a battle royal, number one contenders, and that ends off the show. And I believe that is all the promo stuff. So without further ado, let's start the show. Let's simulate the winners. And let's keep it moving to Raw after this one. You know what I'm saying, dude? Come on, man. Come on, man. We don't need to see this shit, man. All right. So, as you could probably guess, Sasha Banks wins against Liv Morgan. And in this match, Chad Gable picks up the win. Clean win. And as I always say when I say a heel has a clean win, they're a heel throughout the match, but there's no like interference win or shenanigans win or cheat to win. It's the heel acts like a heel throughout the match, but they end up winning clean. William Regal will successfully defend the European Championship. What a shocker, against 2022 Dominic Mysterio. Drew Gulak will successfully defeat Baron Corbin. And then in the main event of the evening, we have Jeff Hardy winning the number one contenders battle royal to earn himself a shot at Bobby Lashley's WWE Championship at TLC, to which Bobby Lashley, who would be on commentary for the main event, would kind of laugh in surprise at the win before saying, I guess it's going to be a really easy night for me at TLC. But specifically for the Battle Royal, the final four would be Drew, Cesaro, Jeff, and Gable. Gable would go out, leaving the final three to be Drew, Cesaro, and Hardy. Excuse me, I just hit my mic. Gulak would get involved and eliminate McIntyre. I should have probably mentioned Drew Gulak and Regal were exempt from the Battle Royal because they are already champions. So there you go. And so, Gulak would come in and attack McIntyre, eliminate him when he's least expecting it, leaving just Jeff and Cesaro. And Jeff ends up winning, eliminating Cesaro last to earn himself a shot at the WWE Championship at TLC, which once again, Lashley on commentary would laugh, kind of scoff at it and be like, okay, man, easy night for me at TLC, I guess. Or some shit like that. So there you go. That's week one. On to week two. All right, here we are with week two. Let's get it. All right, so we have a 3-match card that we need for storyline purposes. Other than that, it's all promo stuff. So without further ado, let's get into it. So first match is Lana versus Rhea Ripley. This match would be scheduled as a result of what happened a few weeks ago with them. I believe Rhea accused Lana of being the one behind the ominous things, cryptic things that were happening. And I believe she attacked her backstage. Lana gets a match to try and, get her back for what she did to her tonight. And there you go. You know what I'm saying? This match right here is a fatal 4-way to determine the number one contender for the United States Championship. Solo Sikoa, Damian Priest, The Miz, and Samoa Joe will fight it out in a fatal 4-way match to determine who will challenge AJ Styles for the United States Championship at TLC. You know what I am saying. R-E-Y Mysterio. Here we go. When a mask up with bars, step out with a smackdown. Off the top rope, so look down below, and the next thing you know, you'll be on the floor. What you gonna do when you're on your back? So, anyways, let's talk about some stuff, dude. Yeah. Sorry, excuse me. I lost my place. But yeah, so we have this match right here. This match does tie in a little bit to the Roman Reigns and Edge situation, and I'll tell you how. Edge would be allowed in the building this week, obviously, and he would cut a promo out in the middle of the ring. He'd call out Roman Reigns for a fight, but Roman coincidentally took the night off. But instead, Paul Heyman comes out and answers Edge and says his request is denied. But, instead, you can have a match with Solo Sikoa. Edge is like, yep, okay, absolutely. Give me a match. I'll beat the piss out of him. And then Paul Heyman's like, great, that's great. However, it's not going to be tonight. It's going to have to be next week because tonight Solo will be earning himself a shot at the United States Championship. And Edge says, okay, you know what, man? Typical, sure. But yeah, he accepts. So, Solo versus Edge next week. Meanwhile, Solo is in this match right now. And then in the main event of the evening, we have Austin Theory, Cody Rhodes, and Malachi Black in a triple threat match to determine the number one contender. To determine who takes the second spot in the number one contender ladder match at TLC and joins Finn Balor. Speaking of Finn Balor, there would be some tense moments backstage between the Bullet Club where, AJ and the Good Brothers, they're backstage, they're talking to Finn. Finn's, stretching out his shoulder. It's still not feeling too good, but, he's a champ. He's fighting through it. And they what's the word I'm looking for? Not cautiously, but regrettably, I don't know what word I'm looking for. But it's like they're, cautiously, I guess. I don't know. I'm stumped. I'm stumped. I'm blanking on the actual word I'm looking for. Maybe I'll remember it eventually. Maybe I won't. But they're like, hey, you don't have anything to do with the masked attacker, do you? You know what I mean? Like, they don't want to ask him, but they're like, well, I mean, and then he's like, yeah, good one, guys. Yeah. It was me. I orchestrated. It was me all along, Austin. Or make a joke out of it like that. And then he would laugh, and then he'd be like, no, like Finn, it's, he attacked in 2 tag matches, and he attacked in AJ's match at Survivor Series. He hasn't involved himself in any of your matches. And last week, AJ came down for the save, but you didn't. And he's like, what? Hold on. You guys you're not joking around. You're actually accusing me. How am I supposed to tell you why this random guy's involving himself in your matches but not mine? I don't know. I'm not how would I know? And last week, you guys saw me. My shoulder was bad after my match. I was in the doctor's office getting it looked after, and then when I saw on the monitor what was happening, AJ was already running down, the masked attacker was already leaving. I figured it was too late for me to come down and make a difference anyways. And then they'd be like, okay, you know what? Okay, we take it back. We're sorry. It's just, we were a bit paranoid. It looked like things were lining up, but the way you explain it, you're right. Bullet Club forever. Bullet Club for life. So they say. And then there you go. So, but yeah, that's the show. I believe that is all I really need to talk about. So without further ado, let's get into the matches, simulate them, all that good shit. And then we are gonna be cooking, There we go. We don't need to see this bullshit. Excuse me. All right, so Rhea Ripley is going to squash Lana, but that's not the end of her segment. So she squashes Lana, literally just destroys her. Lana doesn't get a fucking hope spot, nothing. Absolutely nothing. It's literally just, at the very beginning, she maybe slaps her, starts striking her, and she's giving it her all, and Rhea's just standing there through it all, and she's like, nothing. And then she just destroys her. Afterwards, she's celebrating. Oh, lights go out. All the static on the screen starts to bubble up and all that shit. Static up. I don't know what the fuck. And then the message on the screen this week's, you stole my sanity. And then the lights come up, and lo and behold, Nikki Cross is behind Rhea Ripley, and she attacks her, and a mini little brawl starts before Rhea Ripley can get away and run to the back and escape Nikki Cross's wrath. So there you go. And I mean, it's the choice of words with sanity was intentional. It's like sanity Nikki Cross, where she's just a fucking like fireball of mental health issues. And yeah, not the fucking Nikki Cross where she's just walking around absent-minded and misses the trash can with the title and all that shit. Like, not that Nikki Cross, like fucking sanity Nikki Cross. So there you go. In the Fatal 4-Way match, believe it or not, you might find this really hard to believe, right? And I won't hold it against you. Edge gets involved and costs Solo Sikoa the win. Damian Priest ends up pinning The Miz for this matchup. The finish would probably end up being something like Solo and Joe have a big fuck off, like blow off thing where Joe is taken out of the match because of something big that Solo does, and then maybe Solo has Miz dead to rights, and then or has Priest dead to rights. Edge comes in, spear, blah, blah, blah. Solo rolls out. They brawl a little bit. Edge beats the fuck out of Solo as they go to the back, and Solo's trying to get away. Miz would sneak up on Priest. Skull crushing finale, little tease of they're gonna fuck on him before Priest turns it around, reverses into the fucking his whatever his crossroads is called or whatever the fuck. I don't really care. But he defeats Miz for the 1-2-3, earning himself a shot at the United States Championship at TLC against AJ Styles. So we'll go ahead and give him the win there. And then backstage, that brawl is pulled apart by security and stuff like that. And the Raw general manager announces, you know what, man, this is too much carnage to be having like wreaked on my show 2 weeks in a row. I'm not having it 3 weeks in a row. Next week, the match between you two that you agreed to earlier on will be inside of a steel cage. So there you go. And then in the main event of the evening, we have this triple threat to find out another contestant in the number one contender triple threat ladder match at TLC. Who is going to win? You could probably guess it's Cody Rhodes. Fuck your story, Cody Rhodes, okay? Okay? Fuck your story. I'm not ready for the Tribal Chief to lose the title, man. It's been a hell of a ride. Last year, I had belief that he would retain. I thought, it was more likely that Cody would win last year, but I had belief that Roman could win. This year, it's 99% faith, 1% chance, 99% faith. Is that the meme? I don't see Roman leaving with the title, unfortunately. And yes, I say unfortunately. He fucking revived this business. Pay your goddamn respects and acknowledge the Tribal Chief. But, yeah, fuck your story, Cody Rhodes. Okay? Okay. Anyways, that was Raw. On to SmackDown. All right, and here we are with SmackDown Week 2 on the way to TLC. Let's get into it. So, Sasha Banks would announce maybe on social media, in advertisements for the show, like commercials on TV and shit like that, it would be announced that Sasha would be opening the show with a match against either Bayley, Bianca, or Shayna, right? And it would turn out to be Bayley, who is the one having the match with Sasha Banks this week. And they would open up the show, and that's the first match of the evening. Io would be watching backstage or at ringside or something, just surveying the competition, you know what I'm saying? In the second match of the evening, we have an Alpha Academy tryout, which, once again, it's become a bit of a common theme where the people answering the Alpha Academy tryout aren't actually looking to join. They're just looking to shut up Chad Gable, because he'd be going really obnoxious with the thank you and the shoosh please and all that stuff. So, yeah. Kalisto is the one who answers this week. So there you go. Victorious, and I will defend. Anyways, in the third match of the evening, we have Cesaro versus Buddy Murphy. Basically, Murphy would challenge Cesaro to a match, saying that, Cesaro is looking for matches. Look no further. Bada boom, bada bing. You trying to get back on the horse, feel free to have a match for me, but I'll just, I'm warning you, you're not going to get on the horse. You might get 6 feet farther away from it, because he's going to bear it. I don't really give a fuck what he says, for the most part. It's just the gist of, like, you're looking for matches to try and turn things around, you're welcome to fail against me, kind of thing. And that's, Buddy Murphy versus Cesaro in the crossover. You know what I'm saying? Hell yeah, brother. Bada boom, bada bing. In the fourth match of the evening, this is not actually a Brian Kendrick versus Jeff Hardy matchup. This is Jeff Hardy versus a local talent, and I will tell you why. So, there would be a VIP lounge hosted by MVP and the Hurt Business with Jeff Hardy as their guest. Lashley does not take Jeff seriously at all, but MVP would be warning them and be like, look, Almighty, I understand where you're coming from. Jeff hasn't had the best year or two. He hasn't won that often recently, but it's Jeff Hardy. He's a Hall of Famer for sure when the time comes. Like, this is one of the greatest of all time. You cannot underestimate him. All it takes is one match for him to turn it on, kind of thing. But Lashley would reiterate, saying he's not worried about this guy. I mean, he'd be like, Jeff, I mean, that Battle Royal last week was the first match you've won since, like, last WrestleMania, right? Maybe even 2 WrestleManias ago. I mean, you don't stand a chance against me. I'm the Almighty. But you know what, Jeff? I reached out to the local wrestling academy in town and got you a match with one of their beginner class students because I think you need to practice. And then Jeff would have a match with a local talent, and Brian Kendrick was the lowest rated overall, or popularity or something in the game. I think overall they don't do popularities in the universe. I'm a man with a plan. Anyways. Yeah. So, Jeff versus the local talent. And he'd be kind of, throughout the match, he would kind of be like, because it's a fucking beginner's class guy. He doesn't know what he's fucking doing. But yeah, so there you go. In the fifth match of the evening, it is Sonya Deville versus Tegan Knox. In just an exhibition match, singles match, bada boom, bada bing. And then in the main event of the evening, we have William Regal versus Shinsuke Nakamura. This match would basically be at the request of Mr. William Regal himself. Regal would have approached Shinsuke backstage. He would pay his respects to him as a performer and says he'd love to have a match with Shinsuke tonight. And of course, he will put his title on the line. Shinsuke accepts, and then they have the match in the main event for the European Championships. Shinsuke Nakamura will attend this match or compete in this match unaccompanied by Rick Boogs at ringside. We do not know why. It's not shown on camera why. It's just he comes down to the ring without him. Maybe it's out of respect to Regal. Maybe not. Who knows? But he does not come down to the ring with Rick Boogs. What the Rock is cooking. Nah, fuck that. Okay. So that's the match card. I do have one other promo thing to talk about. I think, at the very minimum. Drew McIntyre would be furious this week after getting screwed out of the Battle Royal last week, and demand another match with Gulak, which Gulak would try to deny yet again, but the general manager would intervene and say that Drew McIntyre will get a rematch at TLC, and this time it will be in a tables match, which Gulak is furious at. So there you go. I believe that is all that needs to be communicated for this week's SmackDown. Let me just flip the fucking pages of my book, dude. I believe that is it. Don't you love how professional I am, man? Don't you fucking love this shit, dude? Yeah. Yep, I think that's it. Okay, cool. So let's go ahead and get into the matches, simulate who wins the matches, and then bada boom, bada bing, we move on to week 3. You know what I'm saying? Boom, skip all that bullshit. Okay, so opening match of the evening is Sasha Banks versus Bayley. Of course, her shot at Io Shirai is on the line, as she agreed to that, which baby faces tend to do. They agree to fucking ridiculous requests from heels because it's storytelling. Yay! It's very basic. I apologize, but it's fine. Sasha Banks wins against Bayley. Chad Gable wins against Kalisto. Buddy Murphy defeats Cesaro. Jeff Hardy squashes basically, but in like a kind way, the local talent. This would be a competitive match, Murphy and Cesaro, but Murphy would come out on top. Gable versus Kalisto would be not so competitive. It would be mostly Gable. Not a squash or nothing, but mostly Gable. And then this match would be very competitive and get decent enough time. This match right here, Sonya Deville is winning. And then in the main event of the evening, for the European Championship, William Regal defends against Shinsuke Nakamura and successfully retains his European Championship. So the opening match would get time. The main event would get time. And Murphy Cesaro would get a little bit of time. Gable Kalisto would be fairly quick and to the point. Hardy and the local talent would be less than 5 minutes. It would not be quick or not be long at all, and this would probably be about 5 minutes. Nice, quick, easy to the point. And then bada boom, bada bing. There you go. That is a SmackDown for the week 2. Let's move on to week 3. All right, here we are, week 3, Raw, baby. Let's get into it. We got 3 matches yet again that we need to know about. Other than that, just use your imagination from the people you've seen who might be on the matches. I don't fucking care. But yeah, so here we go. One of the matches that we need to know about is the Judgment Day, represented by Damian Priest and Malachi Black, facing off against Carl Anderson and Luke Gallows of the Bullet Club. They will be accompanied by AJ and Finn at ringside this week for this matchup. And then there you go. This match put together because, of course, Priest will be facing AJ Styles. And, you know, maybe Priest and Malachi Black maybe insulted the Bullet Club a little bit, and they didn't take too kindly to that. And Gallows and Anderson wouldn't take too kindly to that, and they charged them to a match or some shit. As simple as that. So there you go. Next, we have the final triple threat to determine the third member of the triple threat number of contenders ladder match at TLC. Randy Orton facing off against Kevin Owens and Seth Rollins. Once again, winner joins Finn Balor and Cody Rhodes in a triple threat ladder match at TLC to determine who will be facing off for the World Heavyweight Championship at the Royal Rumble pay-per-view. And then in the main event of the evening, we have Solo Sikoa versus Edge inside of a steel cage, and it is made apparent by the general manager early on in the night that if Edge does come out victorious in this matchup, he will earn a shot at Roman Reigns' World Heavyweight Championship at TLC. So there you go. In terms of Rhea Ripley and Nikki Cross would have a promo this week, and she would be cutting it on Rhea. She would say that at Night of Champions, Rhea broke her, and she took everything away. Now Nikki is back to do the same. First, she'll take her title, which is everything that matters, and second, she'll break her, just like she did to Nikki. Rhea would be on Edge all night backstage because this promo would happen earlier in the show, and the camera would follow her around. She'd be every slightest sound she'd be jumpy and shit like that. Eventually Nikki pops up out of nowhere, chases Rhea out of the arena. Rhea would steal a car from the production crew and leave the arena, kind of gimmick. I'm just realizing that I'm pretty sure Logan Paul did this shit on SmackDown a week or two ago, or 8 years ago when this video finally gets uploaded. But I wrote this fucking last year, and because it's just such a fucking basic wrestling trope, you know what I mean? Fucking heel against the babyface who kind of has their number and they're kind of scared of him. Oh shit, let me get out of Dodge, dude. But yeah, so that's how that rivalry gets advanced this week, ladies and gentlemen. So I think that's all the promo stuff we need to know. Cody, again, would cut a promo hyping himself up and crying about fucking something. I don't fucking know, dude. Maybe his fucking Wendy's finally got the fancy soda machine installed instead of having just the generic soda machine. So now you can finally have a lime mixed with vanilla Coke. You know what I'm saying? At the Wendy's drink machine. Maybe that's what he's crying this week. I don't fucking know. Yeah. And that's the match card. So we'll go ahead and start it off, simulate the matches, and then keep it moving. I like to move it. You know what I'm saying? That's copyright. So I'm probably going to have to pay the IRS $1 million for fucking 2 seconds of referencing something. Because the copyright system on YouTube's so fucking good. Fucking pieces of shit. Anyways, let's go ahead simulate these matches. You know what I'm saying? The team of the Judgment Day will come out victorious in this match. No masked attacker this week. And we will have Priest pinning Mr. Gallows this week. And then in this triple threat match, Sami Zayn gets involved, costing Kevin Owens the opportunity to win, meaning that Seth Rollins pins Randall Keith. Excuse me, no he doesn't. He pins Kevin Owens because Sami gets involved. But yeah, Seth pins Kevin Owens and fills in that third spot in the triple threat ladder number 1 contenders match at TLC. You know what I'm saying? Bada boom, bada bing. And then, so we'll go ahead and complete that. And then in the main event of the evening, Edge defeats Solo Sikoa inside of a steel cage to earn himself a shot at Roman Reigns' World Heavyweight Championship at TLC. So that's it for Raw. On to SmackDown. All right, and here we are with SmackDown, baby. Let's do it, dude. Let's go. Okay, so first match of the evening, Rey Mysterio versus Cesaro. This one would probably be set up over social media or something throughout the week, where Rey would tweet out. It is still Twitter, and it will not change to X in my kayfabe because I get to control life in my kayfabe as well, or some shit. I don't know. Ray would reach out, on a post on Twitter to Cesaro and be like, hey, I know you're looking for matches right now to try and get back on track. I'm not going to take it easy on you, but if you want to have a match with me, let's tear it down. Let's show the world how good we both are, kind of thing. So that's the first match right there, opening us up with a banger. Second match of the evening, Lince Dorado thinks he can do better than Kalisto, answering the Academy tryout, so we get that in the second match of the evening. In the third match of the evening, it is Shayna Baszler taking on Sasha Banks this week. Can she continue her great run of form and defeat the Submission Magician, or will she lose her opportunity at the title to the Queen of Spades, Shayna Baszler? We'll have to wait and see. In the fourth match of the evening, this is not an actual handicap match. There is context behind this. Let me flip to the page. You know what I'm saying? Bada boom, bada bing. Here we are. Okay, so I don't know what I just did. I pressed the button by accident. I think I probably just started the show. Yeah. Is that... Bruh? Okay, let me just back out. Let me just back out here, okay? Let me just back out here, okay? Alright, Jesus. VIP Lounge again this week. Lashley would condescendingly congratulate Jeff Hardy on his victory, you know, over the local trainee last week. But he said he got him an intermediate class in this week's town, before Jeff cuts him off and says, hey, listen, Bobby, no need, okay? I spoke to the general manager, and I got myself a match already this week. It's actually a couple of matches. It's a gauntlet against the Hurt Business, which would be Shelton Cedric and Brendan Cabina. Throughout the night, the three members involved in the gauntlet match would, you know, be seen trying to warm up, trying to stretch out, but Lashley would be like, hey, stop wasting your time and your energy stretching and warming up for this guy. He's a has-been, he's past it, he's nothing. Do not warm up for him. You're wasting your time and energy, kind of thing. So they can't even warm up for the match. And basically the way that it ends up going is Jeff quickly rolls up Shelton. After a little bit of a struggle, he gets a small package to eliminate. There we go. Cabina, and then maybe a little bit of a mini match with Cedric before hitting a Swanton 1-2-3 on Cedric, to which Lashley is furious. I mean, I just gave away the match, but yeah, we're getting there anyways. And MVP would kind of be saying, like, listen, man, I told you so. Anyways, fifth match of the evening, Shin Bugski versus Ridge Holland, Pete Dunne representing the UK Boys, or more commonly known, the Brawling Brutes. The winner of this matchup gets a shot at the tag team titles next week against the Hurt Business. We'll have to wait and see who earns that shot. Sheamus should be with Ridge and Pete, but he's not for some reason. And then in the main event of the evening, Buddy Murphy challenges for the European Championship, and basically, you know, Murphy would find Regal backstage earlier on the night, says he sees Regal looking for opponents every week, giving out title shots every week. He wants next. Regal accepts, and they have their match in the main event of the evening. In terms of Gulak and McIntyre's feud, Drew Gulak would be cutting a promo saying that at first he was furious about the tables match, but he came up with some solutions and some optimal maneuvers that will guide him to victory, and he came up with a slideshow presentation for it. And his slideshow would have like a table and a little diagram, and he'd have like little trajectories and angles or devils and math and shit like written out on them, like really obnoxious and over the top. And as he goes through each slide, McIntyre slowly like shows up behind him in the ring. Gulak is looking at the Titantron. So he's got his back towards commentary table, which is where Drew is appearing behind him. Eventually, the slideshow ends, And when the slideshow ends, they cut to the feed of the show on the Titantron, and Gulak sees McIntyre behind him on the Titantron, to which McIntyre does a quick little wave, like a funny little wave, and then Gulak turns around. And he gets hit with a Claymore. McIntyre, there would be a table set up in the ring ahead of time, or maybe Drew set it up as he snuck up on him or whatever. A McIntyre, that is. And then he would climb up. McIntyre would climb up onto the table with Gulak, and then Future Shock through the table, and then hold up the title before dropping it on his lifeless body kind of gimmick. And gambling ring backstage, obviously. And yeah, man, I think that is all. Let's go ahead and simulate these matches so you know who the fuck wins and loses, because that shit matters in wrestling. Don't let people tell you otherwise. And so Rey Mysterio will be defeating Cesaro in the opening match of the evening. This would get time and it would cook. This one gets a little bit more time than Kalisto's match, but still not that much time, and Chad Gable wins. Same kind of match as before, where it's mostly Gable. This match right here gets a little bit of time. Sasha Banks wins. This match right here ideally would not get that much time. Jeff Hardy wins. In this tag team matchup, it would be fairly straight and to the point, with Shinsuke Nakamura and Rick Boogs forming Shinbugski, winning the match. We will have Rick Boogs pin Ridge Holland, pin and meet in that tag match. And then in the main event of the evening, William Regal successfully retains his European Championship to end off the night. What a great show. Let's move on to the go-home episodes of Raw and SmackDown. All right, and here we are with the go-home edition of Raw. Only one match that we really need to focus on in this show, and it is a big 6-man tag between the Bloodline and the Judgment Day. The winning team, their corresponding leader, for lack of a better word, or for, purpose of the correct word, the winning team basically gets to decide what stipulation the match between Roman and Edge will be at the pay-per-view, at TLC, excuse me. So, yeah, man, there you go. That's the match that we need to know the context of. That's basically it, man. That's for that match. Big time. In terms of other promos, probably just a not generic, but basic, AJ versus Priest promo, where the one's like, hey man, I'm gonna beat you. The other one's like, nah man, I'm gonna beat you. And just that is how it is kind of thing. Yeah, in terms of Rhea Ripley and Nikki Cross, the general manager would request to see Rhea Ripley this week and announce that at TLC, no more running, she will defend her title against Nikki in a chairs match. Rhea is obviously upset by this. She would go out to cut a promo and unconvincingly say that she is not afraid of Nikki before Nikki randomly, pops out and attacks Rhea Ripley, who hauls ass, terrified, out of the ring, leaving the title behind. Nikki already would have a chair in hand for her ambush. She would lift the title, you know what I'm saying, and then she would grab a mic. She'd probably have to switch hands with the titles or drop the chair or something. And she would tell Rhea Ripley that on Sunday, could be Saturday. I grew up with Sunday pay-per-views, but Saturday is nicer, so could be Saturday. I don't really give a fuck, though. I wrote Sunday in my book. In their chairs match at the pay-per-view, not only will she take her title, but she's going to break her neck. So very strong words, very strong threat by Nikki Cross to Rhea Ripley there, as their championship match gets confirmed to be a chairs match at the pay-per-view. And let's go ahead and start the show so we can simulate this match and see who is going to decide the stipulation and what stipulation they will decide. So we'll skip that bullshit. And then bada boom, bada bing, we're going to simulate Malachi Black is going to be pinning Jimmy Uso in this match to win the match for the Judgment Day. That match would definitely get tons of time. Now, Sami Zayn would try and interfere. However, Kevin Owens would come down to even the score. Solo is out of action due to the injuries he would have sustained in the cage last week, so it's an even playing field between these two teams. 3-on-3, Sammy tried to get the numbers advantage, but KO canceled it out, and there you go. And Jimmy Uso taking a black mass or something or other. Malachi Black pinning Jimmy Uso, earning the Judgment Day the victory, to which Edge would get on the mic and announce that the stipulation for his match against Roman Reigns for the World Heavyweight Championship on Sunday or Saturday is an I Quit match. So there you go. That is Raw. Without further ado, let's do the go home to SmackDown. All right, and here we are with the go-home SmackDown to the pay-per-view. Without further ado, let's go run through the match card, the promos, and all that stuff, and then we can end off this episode. So we are starting off with the last of the 4 challengers for Sasha Banks, and of course her title opportunity is on the line that she currently has against Io Shirai at the pay-per-view. She starts off the show against Bianca Belair in what could be a classic. In the second match of the evening, we have Dominic Mysterio versus Cesaro. Cesaro or Dominic would have just basically asked for a match with Cesaro. That's basically where that gets bada boom, bada bing. Do you know what I'm saying? And then in the third match of the evening, we have the tag title match. Shin Busuke earning the opportunity after defeating the Brawling Brutes last week. They challenge Cedric Alexander and Shelton Benjamin, the Hurt Business, for the WWE Tag Team titles in the crossover. You know what I'm saying? Top of the first hour, bottom of the second, or some bullshit. I don't fucking know terminology. And then in the fourth match of the evening, we have an exhibition match between Peyton Royce and Shotzi. In the fifth match of the evening, the third Lucha House Party member thinks he can do better than the rest, and he challenges Gable in the Alpha Academy tryout, which again, he doesn't want to join. He just wants to shut up Gable and kind of, show competitive spirit amongst the Lucha House Party. Otis is definitely in Gable's corner, but it glitched out and didn't include him, despite me including him. But yeah, that's fine. And then in the main event of the evening, we have William Regal versus Drew Gulak. Once again, he's not Scottish. This match is a fun one. So Regal would actually early in the night find Pete Dunne backstage, pay his respect, you know what I'm saying, put him over, to use an insider terminology, and says that he really enjoyed their last match together. He sees a little bit of himself in Pete Dunne, but their last match felt limited by TV constraints. You know what I mean? So he wants another match with Pete Dunne on pay-per-view in an Iron Man match. Whatever the office decides to be the time limit of it, whether it be a half hour, give him 5 hours. Regal doesn't care. He wants an Iron Man match with Pete Dunne at TLC. Dunne accepts. Regal says, good, see you Sunday. As for tonight, I've got someone else that I'd like to face. Oh, by the way, don't let these two hold you back for too long, eh? Because he would be in the locker room with the rest of the Brawling Brutes kind of thing. And then Regal would later on, we'd go to another segment from that, and then we would come backstage to Regal challenging Drew Gulak to a match. And it gets booked for the main event of the evening. So there you go. Let's go ahead and start the show so we can simulate the matches, talk about finishes, talk about promos. As you saw, there's no match between Jeff or Lashley, so there's definitely a promo for that, which we'll get to because it closes off the show. But yeah, we don't need this bullshit. Okay, so the first match of the evening, once we get there it is. So I'm gonna give Sasha the win, but it gets thrown out as a no contest kinda, and I'll tell you why. Because Io Shirai attacks both women with her title before the match can really start to get going. You know what I mean? Like, this match is kind of like a bit of a tease, a bit of a ball sack jiggle jangle, you know what I'm saying? Where, you know, it's like, oh, you know what I mean? I don't know what I'm saying. It's 2 a.m. and I've been awake for too long. So yeah. Just as the match is starting to get picked up, Io gets involved, attacks both of them with her women's championship. So we're going to give it to Sasha in the gameplay. In this match right here, Mr. Dominic Mysterio picks up a big win for his career in singles competition against Cesaro, after which Cesaro would leave the arena, telling William Regal, you know, maybe I'm not cut out for this anymore, you know what I'm saying? And then he would leave the arena. So Cesaro is second guessing himself. He's doubting himself. Tag team titles on the line. We will see a championship retention. Shelton Benjamin can pin Shinsuke Nakamura. Big pin for Shelton Benjamin. He should have had a lot better, but it's fine. It's I'm not bitter about it at all, dude. It's just one of the most underrated wrestlers of all time. It's fine. Peyton Royce versus Shotzi. Peyton Royce is going to pick up the win in this match right here. Chad Gable is going to pick up the win. The way this match is structured, this match is not going to get a lot of time, like less than 10 minutes, because it's going to get cut off just as it's heating up, so maybe like 8 minutes, 5 to 8 minutes. This match will be relatively quick because it'll be like a surprise roll-up or something. Like Cesaro will be in control, and then Dominic will just get him with something out of nowhere, and then it'll be like, oh, what the fuck, dude? This match will be like 10 minutes or so, or less, depending, like just super straightforward to the point. This match will be like 5, 6, 7 minutes. I want this match to get like 10 to 15, upwards of 15 to cook. Because out of the 3 Lucha House Party, I think Ren Metalik is the best one, and Chad Gable's one of the best wrestlers just on the planet, period. So I think these guys could cook if given the time, and I would like to give them that on this go-home edition of SmackDown. And then in the main event of the evening, we have William Regal winning by disqualification, and I'll tell you how. For context, Pete Dunne and Drew McIntyre are both going to be on commentary for this match, as they were facing both respective champions at the pay-per-view. Sheamus and Ridge Holland would come down to attack William Regal during the match. So they'd come down to attack William Regal. They'd stop. They'd like give Drew Gulak like a nice like chop, and then like shake hands because he gets the win because he was the one attacked. And then they would start attacking Regal. Gulak would confidently like arrogantly leave the ring, like, ha ha ha, pleasure doing business, right into a Claymore, to which Drew McIntyre would lift the title above him and look strong. Meanwhile, Pete Dunne would call off the Brawling Brutes and stop their attack on Regal, because Cesaro's not there to run in and save him. He left, remind you. You know what I'm saying? And then they get sent to the back by Pete Dunne, who then picks up the European Championship, looks at it, hands it to William Regal, extends his hand for a handshake, and that ends this match/segment. So William Regal technically gets the win. So there we go. We'll do that. So let's just double check if we're missing anything. They count to me, they understand, they talk to me. Yeah. And then for Lashley and Jeff Hardy, Lashley excuses the loss last week in the Gauntlet due to, lack of training. You know what I'm saying? Jeff will not get lucky against Lashley, though. You know what I mean? As he did against the rest of the Hurt Business. Jeff would respond by saying, lucky or not, Lashley, I've won a match more recently than you. Or did you forget getting pinned at Survivor Series? Lashley would snap. They would brawl. Probably another VIP lounge. Lashley would snap. They would brawl. And in the brawl, at some way, shape, or form, it would lead to Jeff setting Lashley up on the announce table and a ladder, climbing the ladder, swanton bomb through the announce table, through Lashley. And then afterwards, Jeff, out of breath after killing Lashley, would grab a mic and be like, you should have listened to MVP saying you were underestimating me, Bobby, because TLC, TLC's my match. That's my specialty. So on commentary, when I won the Battle Royal and you said it was going to be an easy night, you might have been right about it being an easy night. But not for you. For me. And then we go off the air. You know what I'm saying? So, bada boom, bada bing. You know what I'm saying? So that is the go home for SmackDown. I'll run you quickly through what the official card for TLC is. Karrion Kross is in this game. He's not on my roster, so that's fine. Let's see what the game automatically booked for us. So, AJ is defending the title, just wrong guy. Gulak is defending the title, but wrong guy. Nope. Nope. Why are they on? Nope. That's correct. Yeah. The match type is not, but that's correct. Lashley's defending his title. This game literally just books Lashley and Drew every week, no matter what, and I just rewrite it. Two of those people are correct, and the match type is wrong. And then that is not correct, but one of the people is. Okay, cool. So let's run you through what the actual match card is. Is that a 9 match? No, fuck that. We're doing 8, though. So that's fine. The official TLC match card, but subject to change because I might change the order, but I think this is the finalized one because I feel pretty good about it. First match of the evening, Finn versus Cody versus Seth, number 1 contender, ladder, triple threat. Second match of the evening, Drew Gulak versus Drew McIntyre in a tables match for the Intercontinental Championship. Match number 3, Rhea Ripley versus Nikki Cross in a chairs match for the Raw Women's Championship. Match number 4, AJ Styles versus Damian Priest in a TLC match for the United States Championship. Match number 5, William Regal versus Pete Dunne in an Iron Man match, 30-minute probably, for the European Championship. Match number 6, Lashley versus Jeff Hardy in a TLC match for the WWE Championship. Match number 7, Io Shirai versus Sasha Banks in a ladder match for the SmackDown Women's Championship. And in the main event of the evening, Roman Reigns defending his World Heavyweight Championship against Edge in an I Quit match. So there you go. That's TLC. Hope you guys have enjoyed the build. Hopefully this goes by a lot quicker in terms of getting fucking back on timeline. Yeah, hope you guys are excited for the TLC episode. I am. It's probably going to be pretty fun to play. Except for the triple threat ladder match is probably going to be a pain in the ass, but the rest of the matches should be fine. I'll probably just play a regular match for Regal versus Dunn. I'm not going to lie to you. Just because I don't want to play a fucking Iron Man. But it is an Iron Man in the kayfabe. So, anyways, that is it for this episode. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, please leave a like, subscribe, share it to all your friends, comment down below, all that good shit. And I'll see you guys next time.